Happy World Fringe Day,
Happy
Hannah.
World Fringe Day.
And then Fringe, how are you doing?
Great, really good. I've actually just come, I'm in the office at the moment. I've just come from Bats Theatre, where I've been watching a one-woman show, one-person show that was doing a return season after premiering in our Fringe Festival. So it's very appropriate.
Oh, that's good.
It's very appropriate. And what time? It's 9:30 in the morning here in the UK. So what time is it for you in New Zealand?
It's 8:30 on Wednesday evening.
Yeah. Bonkers time difference. So, Hannah, tell us all about your festival and your Fringe and what you do and where is it and how many people and all of those things.
So we are the New Zealand Fringe Festival in Wellington, New Zealand. We were born, like so many Fringe festivals, we were born out of an international arts festival. So the first arts festival in New Zealand was called the New Zealand International Festival of the Arts, and that was here in Wellington. And they wanted, just like so many Fringe festivals, there was a voice from local artists who weren't programmed in the festival who wanted to be celebrated as well. So 30 years ago, the New Zealand Fringe Festival was born out of that and has been an independent annual open access arts festival every year since 1990. We've had our ups and downs, but currently we sit on around about 140 shows per year, about 700 presentations of work over 23 days, and we're in March. So next year we're on the 1st to the 23rd of March 2019. And we're in around about, I think this year we're in about 40 different venues around the city. Sometimes it can be because we have really we have strict health and safety laws here, but we also have this really kind of wonderful scope for works to be performed anywhere. So we have shows in houses, in trees, like in parks, walking tours, as well as in our established theatres. It's pretty cool.
It doesn't sound like your health and safety is too bad if you can have shows in trees.
I think yeah, you take on your, I think, personal health and safety. We've got we have this wonderful thing in New Zealand called ACC, which is a National Accident Compensation Corporation, which basically means that you can't sue anyone if you fall out of a tree. It's like public health care. So it makes things a whole lot easier when it comes to doing really experimental work. I think it's one less boundary, one less barrier.
Yeah, right, totally. And how long have you been at the Fringe for, you personally?
Well, so let's see, I had my first Fringe experience in the 90s as a teenager. Completely coming from a provincial town, just my mind was blown. Like here were so many wonderful performances that I could really relate to. I started making work in the Fringe Festival when I moved back from the UK. I spent some time in the UK, and so I made work in the Fringe every year for about 8 years. And then in 2000, at the end of 2011, I came on board. A new trust was established, and I came on board then. So I've been at the helm at this end of, on this side of the table, for, what is that, 7 years, nearly 7 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I think we met you probably quite early on in that. Did we? 2012?
Yeah, I think I met you guys 4 years ago at the World Fringe Congress in 2015.
Yeah, that's it. Was it 14 or 12? I swear it was 2012. Anyway, doesn't matter. So when people come to New Zealand Fringe Festival, they can do a tour, right, of other Fringe festivals in New Zealand? Tell us how that works.
So we've shifted our dates actually a little bit further into, we used to start in February and go through to March, but now we're just in March, and that's to make it possible for anybody coming out to this end of the world, down to the southern hemisphere. You can actually go to Perth and then Adelaide and then come over to New Zealand.
Right.
And here, because we don't have a huge population, we're a long, skinny country, it's quite normal for seasons to be around a week long. So we've made it possible. We've aligned our dates with the Auckland Fringe Festival and the Dunedin Fringe Festival, so that you can actually come to New Zealand and hit up 3 different centres and really maximise on your audience potential. But also it's summer, so you can, you know, hire a camper van and
I feel like I want to make a show just so I can come and do that.
I reckon it's definitely the way to do it.
It just sounds so amazing, and I think people should be doing that, because what a beautiful summer to have in New Zealand and Australia. So yeah, they could come over and do. That's 5. And does Sydney Fringe sit in that, or are they different dates?
Sydney and Melbourne in September.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing quite a lot of work in New Zealand with smaller centres, and we're starting to see more open access fringe festivals opening up in some of our regions. So I'm on the board for Fringe in the Stings, which is the Hastings Fringe Festival. So that's in October. And we've got a brand new fringe festival starting this year called Palmy Fringe, which is in Palmerston North. And they've just closed off registrations. I think they've got about 60 different works happening. Yeah, it's really cool.
So booming out there in New Zealand then.
Pardon?
Booming out there in New Zealand then.
We've got so many stories to tell.
Tell us now. Why do you think that is, that they are popping up, and what, you know, what's the impact of them? Why are they important to New Zealand?
Well, I mean, there's a large part of it is that we have a housing crisis in New Zealand in our main cities. So people are leaving our big cities. They're leaving Auckland, they're leaving Wellington, and they're either moving back to their hometowns, or they're relocating to more regional places where they can still have their idyllic New Zealand kind of quarter-acre dream. But people are coming from the cities, but they still want entertainment. They still want to engage in cultural activities. Yeah. And they want to make them as well. Yeah. And we're seeing these little booms happening around the country. And this is a way of both embracing that and also delivering it. But I think most importantly, above all else, is the accessibility of a fringe festival. The fact that anybody can do anything. We say in Wellington, if you can make it, you can make it. And we'll help. So we'll help find you a venue. We won't program it. We won't produce the show for you, but we'll help find you the right venue for you. We'll help get audiences to you. We'll help get the word out. So it takes a lot of the pressure off. Yeah. And it means that if somebody's got an idea or something that that's been bubbling away, or they've got something they want to try out, then a fringe festival is just the perfect place to do it. You're part of a community and you have all the support of the festival. It's so hard.
Yeah.
As an independent artist.
It's really hard, yeah, and that you're right. That's exactly the reason why fringe festivals exist. What's the impact had on you by meeting other fringe directors from around the world?
It's been huge for us, actually, because I mean, up until we came to the World Fringe Congress in 2014, we were really in such a little silo, and even within New Zealand, we weren't really sharing enough. Being part of the Congress really opened up our eyes to the possibilities of what can happen when you work together a bit more, when you share a bit more. But we've also, born out directly out of our attendance there, we started an artist development program, and we have a reciprocal award arrangement with Melbourne, and that grew to Sydney and San Diego and Adelaide. So we have 4 international tour awards now. We welcome people to us and we send people to them. And that's been incredible. And I think as the world kind of becomes smaller because of social media, like actually it's so important for artists to experience each other's work, because quite often, even though they're from other sides of the world, there is so much that is shared, and there is so much growth to be had from experiencing other people's work.
Mm-hmm.
Like it really helps artists develop their practice.
Yeah, and Fringe festivals really support that, where maybe it wouldn't happen otherwise. Do you see that as kind of one of the major things that Fringe festivals do, other than kind of like, you know, audiences, artists, but also sharing those artists, and helping those artists develop their work?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're really lucky in everybody in my team has been involved in a Fringe show at some stage. So they have genuine experience of what it is that our artists are going through themselves, and quite often our team are also putting on shows in the festival themselves. But the support of, and part of it is just knowing that other people have done it, I think. But you know, we have a show called The Basement Tapes, which won the Melbourne Award at our Fringe in 2017. Beginning of 2017, and then went to Melbourne Fringe, where it was picked up. It was programmed by Sam Goff for a season at Summer Hall at this year's Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Wow. Yeah.
And then it premiered in it's in an empty, in a completely empty stripped kind of office space on a marina, and is now playing in the basement at Edinburgh. And that all happens because we talk to each other, because we share information and we share content.
Right.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, Summer Hall is a great venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but you've personally performed at Edinburgh as well, haven't you?
I haven't performed.
I thought you had.
I've directed. I've done a show.
A
couple of those. But yeah, I mean, so me and my best friend had this really stupid idea that we would make Pulp Fiction with marionette puppets. And we were like, okay, well, I was like, look, let's just do it in the Fringe and we'll see if it works. And it was ridiculously successful. So that's Puppet Fiction, and so we made it together with a couple more friends, a comedian, an amazing actor, and so I directed that and produced that, and we've taken that to Perth and to Adelaide, all over New Zealand, and we've performed it in Edinburgh, where we were invited to perform in London as well, and yeah, it's really, I mean, it's so different. Edinburgh, such a huge beast, but it's also been, it was like a dream of ours. We never really thought that we would achieve it, and then we ended up doing it 3 years in a row.
Amazing. That's so good.
Yeah. It was pretty addictive, isn't it?
Yes.
Crazy.
So we're going to sign off in a minute and say thank you very much for joining us, Hannah. It's been great to chat with you. And is there anything you would like to leave us with? Any parting words of Fringe wisdom?
I think I really think that if you can make it, you can make it.
Yeah. I love that. That's so cool.
Give it a go, you know. Yeah, I think Fringe festivals are so important. They're such a vital stage in the arts ecology in every city, town, village, and country that they exist in.
Yeah.
And the more we can bring artists together, the more incredible the work that's made is.
Yeah, here. Brilliant. Fringe fully yours, and happy World Fringe Day to you, my love. And and we'll see you in August.
Yes, I'll see you in a month.
Yeah, not long.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Lovely to see you.
See you soon. Bye.
Take care. Bye.